Nice day. Nice and sunny. Is that a helicopter? Hey, how's it going? That's cool. Oh, I'm so tired. Is that the same guy? No, that can't be right. I mean, why would he be there 2 days in a row? Yeah, that doesn't make sense. Yeah. Yeah. What? He's out there again? Why would he still be out there? There's got to be a reason, right? There's got to be a logical reason why he's out there 3 days in a row. Whew. All right. Yeah, all right. Well, that's done with. What the hell is he doing back here? All right, it's got to be my imagination. There's no way he's going to be out there again. There's no way. Okay, I don't think he's here. All right, I think I'm clear. Son of a bitch! He's still fucking out there. There's a helicopter. He's out there. He lives there now. Yeah, that's where he goes. That's where he lives. He's always going to be there. He's never going away. This is life now. This is my life. He's still out there. He's still fucking out there. What? What do you want from me? What? Wait, what? Really? Yeah, oh yeah, 1 second. That sounds awesome. Yeah. What's up, guys? Welcome back to VHS on Tape. I hope everyone's doing well. As usual, I have my trusty co-host with me, Loki. Yeah, it's fun to think back about all the good times we've had on this channel. You're bluffing. Full house. Aces over kings. What do you got? You're bluffing. I knew it. Alright, better luck next time. What do you mean you win? You got a pair of twos. Okay, yeah, no problem. You win. Alright, yeah, let's just put the knife away, buddy. Yeah, good times. And I know he's pretty excited about today's movie. I mean, although he is just a cat, so I don't necessarily put a lot of weight into his excitement for movies. But he's excited because today we're looking at Night of 1,000 Cats, which was written and directed by Rene Cardona Jr. It came out on August 3rd, 1972 in Mexico and didn't hit the States until November of 1974. It runs for 1 hour and 3 minutes, so definitely the shortest one I've looked at yet. It stars Hugo Stiglitz, who's been busy with 263 acting credits at the time I recorded this, including One Night in Mexico and El Número de la Muerte. He plays Hugo, a trust fund baby that goes around Acapulco picking up ladies and bringing them back to his monastery to meet his cats. Well, you can't ask better than for that, right? So, if you're wondering how that could be a horror movie, let's get into the movie that is Night of a Thousand Cats.
The cats are hungry.
We start off meeting Hugo, played by Hugo. He's the trust fund baby. And I should also mention that there is some pretty good talent in this movie. Anyways, we see him and his brunette living the dream of sleeping in, water skiing, and attempting to drown a horse. And if you happen to hear any loud noises right here, that's just Loki in a box, doing what cats do. We see they can do anything they want, then they go swimming. Oh wait, no, now it's a blonde? Okay, well, I guess we see that Hugo is good with the ladies. She says that she would like to stay with him forever, and before we hear how he responds, let's take a minute to appreciate his ensemble. Especially that neckerchief. You know, that actually reminds me, I know people always make fun of neckerchiefs, but now with the pandemic and all, I would probably say that they were fashion forward. Anyhow, he says,
I would like you to stay with me, but in a place where no one could touch you. For example, in a crystal cage.
Ooh, talk about a red flag. He takes her flying around the city because, of course, he's a rich guy who can fly. They end up back at his place, and when Hugo knocks on the door, uh-oh, he's wearing a pinky ring. You know what? Now seems like a good time for a PSA about guys who wear pinky rings. They'll get you killed. This guy answers the door. He's Dorgo, played by Gerardo Zapita. He's actually been pretty busy. He has over 116 acting credits, including Narco Cabron, Federal Mass Chingon, and XOXONTLA? How in the hell do you pronounce that? Anyways, we get some music that makes it seem like something bad is going to happen. The blonde doesn't like Dorgo, but Hugo reassures her by telling her,
Dorgo is an excellent butler. He's obedient and as faithful as a cat.
I think you meant to say dog there, Hugo. Who describes cats as obedient? We find out that Hugo's family owns the monastery, and he says that
All of my ancestors had a mania for collecting.
Then he adds in,
But my collection is going to be the most original and interesting of all.
they have a pre-dinner cocktail, and I know I've said this before, but man, the 70s were a great time, weren't they? When they sit down to eat, we find out that Dorgo is a great cook, and his specialty is meat. Well, meat is a specialty, but he sucks at preparing sides. Here's your hunk of meat, enjoy. As they're eating, a cat joins them. Now, there are a couple of scenes in this movie that a lot of people probably won't like, and if you do like them, you might want to talk to somebody, because you might be a serial killer. And don't get me wrong, I mean, I love animals, so since this would be kind of considered animal cruelty, I'll censor it. After the cat drops in, Hugo grabs it, then fucking launches it back into this cage where we see a lot of cats. 1,000, perhaps? I would say this is another red flag, but the blonde sticks around. Now, she doesn't bring it up, and we never actually find out why he has so many cats, so quit asking already. He takes her through what looks to be a dungeon? Yeah, man, red flags all over the place. To show her his collection, then we see this, and that there's an empty container at the end. Oh, man, cat hair. God, always cat hair in the face. He tells her not to worry because they're made of wax. Man, rich people are into some weird shit, huh? She finally asks to leave, but he puts on the charm, and she very realistically gets into the mood. If I know women like I do, that's exactly the way it would go. Scared, then turned on. Very accurate. Very, very accurate. Then this happens. Cut to Hugo feeding the cats raw meat. Again, they never explain this, but it's implied he's feeding them the blonde. Then Dorgo gives them something to eat, and again, I believe we're supposed to think that it's the blonde that he's eating, because remember, Dorgo's specialty is meat. Then we see Dorgo putting something in a fire, and it sure looks like a body to me. So unless that lady has big bones, or just, more than the usual amount of bones in her body, I guess either they weren't using her for cat food, or they just use a little bit of her, which is very wasteful. Then we see Hugo flying around the city for over 4.5 minutes looking for his next victim. First he sees this lady, then this little girl, and her mom. And her mom seems way too happy to have Hugo basically park his helicopter in their pool. I think this lady sums up how all the neighbors are probably feeling.
Some idiot with a helicopter!
Got to Dorgo and Hugo playing chess, where Hugo wins. Then Hugo goes back to this lady and tries to get her to fly with him. She doesn't, but he does get her digits. Then he goes to the house with the little girl again and decides to follow the mom. You know, at the beginning he was wooing ladies with water skiing and sailing. Now he's just trying to pick them up by stalking them in his chopper and on his bike. Seems like he's getting a little lazy. And if you ever wondered how Tiger Woods got so many ladies, chicks dig golfers, man. Who knew? He brings a doll for her daughter, and she decides to follow him home, where he puts up a pretty weak performance. Do you think she's thinking, fair sex is supposed to be great? What the hell am I doing? He's not even moving here. And the way they show animal heads here reminds me of Poor Pretty Eddie. When he goes to show her his collection, this guy knocks on the door saying his car broke down. She decides to leave, and Hugo lets him in to use his phone, and tells Dorgo,
"The cats are hungry."
So I think he might have too many cats. Because he's always thinking about feeding them. See, he has to get people to feed his cats because he spends all of his money on helicopter fuel, flying around looking for people to feed his cats. It's a vicious cycle. He could probably afford it if there were like maybe 10 or 20 cats, but 1,000? Forget about it. Also, this kind of reminds me of an uncle I have. He doesn't have 1,000 cats, but he does seem to spend pretty much all day planning on how to feed his cats. We see the guy's head before Hugo has a flashback about what happened with the second head. See? He really has gotten lazy. Before it was horse-drawn carriage rides, and now it's flying a helicopter outside their house going, "Get in." We see that Hugo wasn't planning on killing her.
No, Dorgo. Not her.
Because he was in love. But while he's grabbing a ring for her, Dorgo decides that he wants her in the collection. Then we actually get a pretty cool slow-mo chase scene with some alright music. I do think this scene was shot well. Although, if you can't outrun a guy with a limp, maybe you don't have that much to live for anyways. Then we see that Hugo is hooked up with a chick who didn't want to go flying. They do kind of an interesting thing here where after one of them says something, they do a cut and a zoom out to a different location for the other's response. It's nothing groundbreaking, but I do like it. After Hugo finds out that she has a sugar daddy who pays for her lifestyle, he tells the cat about his frustration. Then Dorgo beats him at chess, and we see that he doesn't like losing. Got to fly into the MILF's house again, and this family really likes helicopters. But imagine being this cuckold here who's waving and smiling like an idiot at the guy who just banged your wife. Got to Hugo and some random new lady we haven't seen before, and he tells her that he has to find a way to finish something. Then, while they're boating, by the way, this movie almost seems less like a horror movie and more like a tourism commercial for Acapulco. She asks to go back, and he tells her,
"It's already too late. I found the right piece for my collection."
She senses danger and bolts. She actually puts up a pretty good chase, but eventually Hugo does catch up with her and drowns her. Cut to the MILF and her husband leaving, and Hugo showing up in his helicopter, and he decides to take their daughter for a ride. Now, as they are showing them flying, they show them getting closer to the monastery, and then we see the cats again, which implies that Hugo fed the girl to the cats. Again, he's always thinking about feeding his cats. When the MILF gets back, she can't find her daughter. Then she hears Hugo, and when she goes outside, we see that her daughter is actually still alive. And I guess Hugo kidnapping her daughter turns her on because she ends up back at his place again. I gotta say, her marriage must be pretty terrible if she's choosing to come back to him. He says,
"Let's finish what we started the other night."
And takes her down to the dungeon. We then see that Dorgo has become part of the collection. Understandably, she takes off, and Hugo chases after her. And this is intercut with scenes of the cats. She throws a trident, which misses, but it allows the cats to get out of their cage. Hugo eventually drags her back downstairs, but when they get to the collection room, the cats attack. With authority. The MILF seizes the opportunity and runs to her car and gets away. Then we get a shot that I was really hoping that they would do, so I'm glad they did. We see that Hugo is dead, but they frame his head in the last empty glass box, which is just perfect. And the movie ends. And now for some fun facts. Gerardo Zapata, or Dorgo, was a professional wrestler before starting his movie career. The oldest cat on record lived to be 38 years old. The population of Acapulco is around 700,000. About 8.5 minutes, or almost 13.5% of this movie, is just Hugo flying around or getting around on some other transportation. I'm thinking they probably maybe needed to cut back that a little bit. So I actually realized while I was editing this that I forgot the most important fun fact of all. Not only is Loki the most awesome cat I've ever met, I mean just look at this little guy, we call him cool for cats, but he's also a sugar junkie. Observe. Got some Ready Whip. And I got a cat. He loves it. Supposedly cats aren't supposed to be able to taste sugar, but we actually have to hide our sweets from him because he will find them and yeah, he'll eat them. Anything's fair game for him. So, would I recommend Night of 1,000 Cats? I mean, it's alright. I've seen worse. I've definitely seen better. I do like that it's a unique idea. You know, although the cats only killed one person in the movie and he deserved it. But there's some okay music in it. Not as horror type music, but just music. And there's some nice scenic shots. They definitely overdo the helicopter flying around, but, you know, yeah, it's okay. I mean, I know he likes it, and he's seen a lot of movies. Wait, what? Oh, sorry, just need to have a little sidebar here. What the hell do you mean you've only seen one other movie? You told me you highly recommended this movie. You said it was one of the best you've ever seen. I assumed that meant you've seen a lot of other movies. You're making me look like an asshole over here. You know what? Alright, I'll talk to you after this, okay? Yeah, so like I said, out of all the movies he's seen, which is a lot, he definitely recommends this movie. But, you know, he's partial to the cats in it, even though they're a little mistreated. So, I will put a link in the description where you can check out the movie for free, at least at the time I recorded this. So, what'd you guys think? Have you seen this movie? Did you like it? Let me know in the comments. In my last review, I looked at The Astrologer, and I'll put a link up that so you can see what a crap fest that movie is. Alright, well, that's it. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you next time.